Good evening, welcome. This is Hot Edition. We're live on news about Desawe Kanda, also live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W93.5 and beyond. You can also listen to us all across the world on 3news.com. We're streaming live on Facebook and X at 3FM 927. You can get to also watch what's happening in the studio and also all the videos and the documents we're going to be posting on that page at 3FM 927 on Facebook and on X here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. For those of you listening to us on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond, and also on W93.5 in Wa and beyond, as always, you can let your voice be heard. We'll definitely read out to you and to the rest of the world. I am Alfred Ocansey. Remember, Hot Edition is probably brought to you by Old Mutual. Old Mutual says do great things every day. This evening, we're getting information as in Kwanta in the Oti region, death silent as curfew hours start flowing. A death of 8 persons in the ethnic clashes were engaged. The head of the Regional Security Council, who has just come out of a security meeting shortly. Also on Hot Edition this evening, United States Embassy in Accra issued a travel advisory warning travelers to exercise increased caution due to emerging threats against LGBTQ plus persons in Ghana. And later, we'll bring you details of the 2023 Multidimensional Poverty Survey report. Stay tuned in. Here on Hot Edition, we have the latest in business, sports, and entertainment coming up over the next 60 minutes. I am Alfred Ocansey. Let's get into the details now as the OT Regional Security Council, RECSEC, has in the last few hours ended an emergency meeting which was prompted by the death of 8 people in ethnic clashes at Nkwanta, specifically in Nkwanta South. An assailant was reported to have opened fire at the Central Market area in the town yesterday, November 21. 8 persons were killed and others injured in the process. 2 weeks ago, there were clashes between members of 2 tribes, that's Adele and Achode in Kwanta, that led to the death of 1 person. Now, the OT Regional Minister, Joshua Makobo, is joining us on the telephone for a quick conversation on what's the latest so far with this particular rather unfortunate situation then. And the Honorable Regional Minister is on the line now. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobo, for joining us here on Hot Edition. First off, we understand there's been a crunch meeting ongoing since morning about the situation. Has there been any specific decision taken beyond the curfew?
Okay. Thank you very much, Alfred. And I say good evening to your cherished listeners and all those who have been praying for us since this unfortunate occurrence. Yes, once again, the Regional Security Council reconvened this morning at around 9 a.m. and the meeting continued until somewhere 2 p.m. when we departed. And then we celebrated on what really the current situation is, what is the way forward. And some decisions were taken. Now, the assurance is that we have enough security in town to be able to protect life and property, ensure everybody is safe, and then the curfew is also in full force. Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah, but the next thing we want to do is that those who have left their homes, where are they? Where the environment in which they are living, is it safe for human habitation? What can we do? So the regional NADMO directorate was tasked to liaise with the district municipal NADMO director, then they can do an assessment of the condition and the state of the people who have been displaced and see what kind of support that they will require from us as a Regional Security Council, the government, the international community, and then the NGOs who are also there. So we expect that report to be ready latest by Friday for us to be able to look at it. Then the next thing was for us to also get in touch with the Bishop Secretariat, which we have also been able to get in touch with the Monsignor Insia on the need to get these people back together, and then we can see the way forward. We also look at it, yes, We are not saying that there are political undertones, but no matter the situation, we feel that beyond the traditional authorities, people also listen to their political party leadership. So the next thing is for us to engage the NDC and other political groupings to see if we can come together, issue a joint press release asking for calm to return, ceasefire, for everybody to go back. If there need even be security structures are allowed, we want them to even do a float in town so that at least it will also portray to the people that, look, even we have political ideologies that are different, we belong to different groups, but we are still together. And since most of them are our supporters, they should see themselves like that. And then what do you call it? Allow sleeping dogs to lie. Okay. So I think these are some of the things. But the other aspect was that, we have the assurance that it is not only the men that are coming to provide security, some high-level officers are also among them. It's not only about providing security, go and sleep, wake up, don't do it. No, that is not it. A series of intelligence is also going to be picked, and then that will also inform the way forward.
I see. But the person we understand who opened fire in the central market there that led to the death of these 8 people, has he been arrested?
As at this time, my understanding is that 2 people have been arrested. They have not been profiled yet. And this is the first time I'm getting that information that there was a particular person who opened fire at the market. So I will just get back to the police to confirm. But I know per the police report this morning when we met, they said 2 people have been arrested. They are yet to profile them and then see their way forward.
I see. But then how did the 8 people die?
Now, what I am saying is that there were clashes among the people that resulted into shooting. People died from both sides of the feuding faction. And definitely we know that, yes, these gunshots were shot by people from either side. But as you are saying, I know 2 people have been arrested. We are waiting for the profiling. The specific issue that the person who opened fire at the market, that is what I don't want to either deny or confirm. I can't do that now since I don't have that from the police.
I see. But and let me welcome Mr. Albert Yenyang, who's the National Network Coordinator for the Ghana Office of the West African Network for Peace Building. But, Makobo, before I let you go, there was an incident on the 28th of October.
Yes.
Which led to the death of 1 person.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks later, we are talking about this incident that has led to the death of 8 people.
Yes.
Would you say that for you, as a Regional Security Council, you failed in employing intelligence to ensure that after that October 28th incident...
You raised this issue yesterday.
Yes.
And I told you that it is not true and cannot be exact. Excuse me, if we say we gather intelligence, and whether we fail to gather intelligence or we actually gather intelligence, let me tell you that it's a human institution we are operating, and you cannot have 100% level of efficiency. If we were not gathering intelligence and taking proactive measures, do you know what would have happened? Because the police were not just sitting down there. I can say that the job that the police did on the ground, the NIB on the ground, national security on the ground, I can say that every day, from morning to evening, we received different reports and immediate actions were taken. There were instances we pick intelligence, some communities were going to be attacked, the police move in, some houses were going to be attacked, they move in and indeed fire was set on those actions and then they stop it. So if you make it look like...
Well, I asked the fundamental questions about...
I understand you, but
exactly.
I feel that the level of stress on that question, yes, we may not be 100%, but I can tell you that a lot of work has gone on between the 28th and then yesterday. And as a matter of fact, the people on the ground were doing their work, even though there could be some lapses somewhere. I think we need to applaud the security agencies on the ground for their work.
Well, that's fair, but it is the lapses as well that I'm also concerned about that has led to the death of 8 people. That is concerning And it's worrying enough, is it not, for you as a regional minister? Yes, you might have your systems, but for as long as there are lapses that led to the death of people, we should be concerned about that enough as well. That's what
we are very much concerned. But for one to describe it as what? Failed. When we do that, the men who have put their lives at stake to protect other lives, at least we will be discouraging them.
Okay.
Yes, we know they cannot get 100% of the, but I can tell you that they are doing very. Look, when this incident started, the IGP will not even wait for letters to be written or radio message. Just a WhatsApp chat to the IGP. He responds quickly, and the right thing is done. And he's always on phone. Anytime I call my regional commander, whatever briefing they give me, they gave the IGP as well. The guys did very well. The men on the ground, yes. We wish it would have been our wish that nothing has happened, no life has been lost. We are all worried and we are all disturbed. But if we say that they have not lived up to expectations, they have failed, I think we may not be encouraging them to do better. They can do better, but we don't say they have.
Okay, but thank you. Since the RECSEC is still meeting on this matter, we would be coming to you for some more updates. But thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Alfred.
Joshua Makubo is the OT Regional Minister joining us here. Let me bring him, Mr. Abedin. So, listening to the Regional Minister, Chair of the Regional Security Council, yes, admittedly indicating that they put measures in place, but there were lapses that led to the death of these 8 people. I made reference to the 28th October incident that one person died, and it appears that this is more of a reprisal attack. Could anything have been done differently to at least avert a situation like this? And also going forward, what has to be put in place?
Thank you very much. And I say it's unfortunate that we are recording these incidences in Nkwanta, even though if you monitored things or happenings in that area, you would probably think that if we were not stringent in terms of our strategies in addressing those issues, we would one day have these kinds of things happening there. So it's unfortunate that we recorded one death in the first incident that was over a festival, and then we are now among the 3 ethnic groups. And then we are recording this incident again, which has resulted in the loss of lives of about 8 people. The first one we recorded about, about 7 people, as we read, were arrested. And I am hoping that this one we should be able to do a lot more. I think that following the first incident, which as the regional minister indicated, knowing how the security operates, there would have been a lot of investigation, following that incident, and probably more stringent intelligence deployed on the ground, also working with the communities and some other opinion people who matter as far as stability in the area is concerned. Nevertheless, we still have this incident occurring. It's unfortunate, but I think that if probably, as he indicated, if there was nothing at all done, probably it would have been worse than the situation that we are recording. So I think that we need a lot more cooperation with the communities on the ground. Opinion leaders, there are people who would definitely have much information that they can share, and based on trust, that will enable the security to do a lot more. And I think that if we had put in place and indicated, increased presence along the areas that, we suspected there could be some reactions or new incidences occurring, as we are not very certain the linkage between this current incident and the one that occurred in the latter part of October. So I think we require a lot more security presence deployed. We require a lot more deployment of intelligence based on network of informants that the security would have had, and communication with leaders who matter. If you do an analysis, an assessment of the situation, probably we will realize that it was not just about ethnic groups, but probably, but other linkages could be drawn, that could now transcend beyond ethnic issues and beyond the festival that probably led to the first incident.
Mr. Young, thank you so much for this. And kindly hold on a bit for me, because we're just getting information right now from Parliament that the Speaker of Parliament has summoned ministers in charge of security-related matters to a crucial meeting with the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament regarding a brewing tension in Kintampo. That's another one. This is, apart from what's happening in the Nkwanta South, there's another one in Kintampo. The Member of Parliament for the area, Joseph Kuma, who made a passionate appeal on the floor of Parliament for urgent help to resolve tensions between the Mo and the Wangara ethnic groups. That's the Mo and the Wangara ethnic groups over who to perform specific prayers and rituals, is what is said to have been leading to this rising tension in Kintampo as well. Now, this is what happened in Parliament not too long ago.
As the first authorities to come to this house to brief the Committee on Defense and Interior. This is an urgent matter that should be handled with dispatch. I think tomorrow should be okay for the two ministers and their commanders to appear before the committee early tomorrow morning by 9 a.m. to brief the committee. It's an urgent matter. The National Security Council, through their regional office, should immediately intervene, because the chieftaincy institution is one of the cornerstones of the peace and security of our country. And we hold that institution dearly. And we should do everything to prevent that institution from falling into disarray. But this, I think, is a simple matter. The president of the Wangara community is the president of the Wangara community in Ghana. That is what the statement says. Not just in the Kintampo traditional area, in Ghana. And so they have a festival, which is an annual festival they celebrate, called Kulubi Festival, within the period. But please, let's leave it to the experts to handle. And as I said, because it's an emergency matter, dealing with the safety, security of all of us, particularly the investment that has been made in Kintampo.
That's the Speaker of Parliament there. So he refers to this matter as an emergency matter. This is something that's just coming up. Thankfully, we have the Member of Parliament for the Kintampo North constituency joining us, Honorable Joseph Kwame Kuma. Kuma, can you hear me? Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Hot Edition. Hello.
Yes. Yes, my brother, how are you?
Well, we're doing well, but we understand that your constituency, all is not well there. Now, tell us what's going on. This brewing tension between the people of Mo and Wangara ethnic groups over who to perform specific prayers and rituals?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me correct the message this way. It is rather two ceremonies that are clashing. The ceremonies are, just like Mr. Speaker said, the Wangara community in Kintampo have been performing annual Kulubi Festival. I can say for the past 25 years, they have been performing it annually. Then what has happened this time is that, and for almost 25 years to 30 now, the Mo as a tribe did not have a paramount chief. Are you getting me?
Yes.
The Moors did not have a paramount chief. After the late Nanasa Henefa, it was even President Kufuor's time that we had President Kufuor's time that we had his funeral performed. If you remember, there was a year they said some widows were in room for almost 9 years.
True.
For their husband's funeral was not yet performed. So that is about my community, the Moors area in Tampo. So from that time, it has been litigation all over about the chieftaincy who should succeed that late Nana Sahene. So it took finally the Peace Council to be able to at least mediate for us to now have at least a chief, which is Nana Dankwa, the third now. Well, now Nana Dankwa is saying that he should do some specification of the land, some purifications, and he is choosing some days in this November up to 20th or so December to purify the lands of Kintampo and other areas. So, and within Kintampo Township inclusive, some parts of Kintampo Township. And Nana Fanjirima, the paramount chief of the Wangara community, also lives in that area. So the confusion now is, as he is to perform the purification or cleansing of the land against annual and perennial accidents, you hear the Tamale Kintampo Highway and other negative issues that have been happening in the community. So the two ceremonies are now clashing, bringing about this, who has the authority now to go about his or her activities. So let me say thank you to MUSEC on doing their part so far for keeping security at the level it is. RESEC for doing their part averagely on what is happening. In my case, as a member of parliament, I am not a member of the RESEC, nor am I a member of the, what is it called, MUSEC. And so I had to fall on my daddies, let me call them the National Peace Council, both regional and national, to come in immediately to avert any tensions or any issues that are coming up. And like I keep saying, condolences to a life that has been lost already, and then some people injured. And I want to thank the families for making peace to go on, because the family have at least shown some, let me say, let me thank them for their quietness, at least, for not going to retaliate or do anything. But that is what I should say.
Mr. Kumar, so as it stands now, one person has
confirmed death,
has been killed as a result of this misunderstanding.
Yes.
And a number of people have been injured.
Yes.
And where are they? Are they receiving treatment at any health facility?
For now, yes. When the day for yesterday, I was at home because of the budget. I was here. In fact, the time it happened, I was in France. I was part of a UNESCO delegation.
When did this happen? When?
I'm sure about more than a week now. But I got home the day before yesterday, and I had to proceed to Bank Room because the budget debate is on, and I had to do a return journey. So, but I was able to meet Nana Fanjirima, who is a grandfather, and met my grandfather, the Mo Paramount Chief too. Funny enough, I share family relations with both chiefs.
Both chiefs?
Maternally and paternally.
Okay.
So I was able to get to each side and at least told them that as their son, I'm using the Peace Council as an additional mediation tool to get to the issue of the matter and let calm prevail in Kintampo North.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for this detail. It's something we'll be following quite closely to also update our listeners on this.
Pray for us and pray for the other, my condolences to the other places that I'm hearing, and let me thank Peace Council for the swift nature with which they are mediating the issue in Kintampo.
Right.
So I'm urging all heads to remain calm and give peace a chance.
Okay.
Because in this world, the system is not easy. If you are to relocate today to any other place because of conflict, you can imagine where is even the money to relocate. So peace to be the overall hallmark for all of us to coexist.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Honorable Joseph Kwame Kuma, who is a member of parliament for the Kintampo North constituency. Mr. Young, so hearing this already, in this Kintampo situation as well, one person has been killed as a result of this misunderstanding. The member of parliament has talked about what Peace Council is doing there, but he's just hoping that the family of this person who has been killed would not retaliate. At least for the past 1 week, they have been silent about it, and he thanks them. But then beyond that, what has to be put in place to ensure that there is no reprisal, as we have seen in the case of the Nkwanta South?
I think that the issue in Kintampo requires a lot more assessment, because there have been long-standing kind of tensions about even who has legitimacy in Kintampo. And I think, first of all, beyond what I'm going to say in terms of immediate steps, that is needed to be done. And there has to be a long haul in terms of dialogue to enable all people in that area who may have grievances, to come to a certain conclusion or mutuality as far as, agreement is concerned in that area. Now, I would like to say that beyond just, the incident occurred about a week ago. One person has lost his life, and I only hope that steps have been put in place for this kind of stalemate to have occurred for 1 week. And we need a lot more security deployment, within the area. And we need stringent engagement, and that has to be very fast. And I would applaud, the intervention by the Member of Parliament by shuttling between the two leaders. It will only require the leadership to prevail on their following to let calm reign so that there can be conversations around the issues. Otherwise, the more we have people losing their lives or engaging in violence, then we'll have difficulty in even having conversations, because that case will not have been created if there is that tension and there is that fear, there is even difficulty in moving to one location or the other. But I will say that I will applaud, what he has done so far, and need to expand, the conversations and involve many other stakeholders like the Peace Council that he has mentioned, to be involved in the discussions. These can support, prevail on the parties to have some conversation and to have a pathway towards addressing the issue. Eventually, they would decide as to how to go about the celebrations that they each probably cherish. And if I hear what he said, which is about pacification of the area, so that accidents, for instance, that have been occurring, and anyone who probably has followed the news for some time now, there have been that enclave, that a stretch of the road, between Tamale and then Techiman. There have been so many loss of lives, and very often in numbers. So I think that these could be novel initiatives by the leaders who in that area. But there's the need for discussion, and I would say that, first of all, let there be a lot more intelligence deployment in the area. Let's probably increase security presence, and let us begin to have people who matter to have engagement with the leadership of the people. And I would say that I would, on behalf of OneNet, plead for on the leaders, for them to prevail on their following. Very often the youth are the ones who engage in the violence, and some people don't even understand the issues, but because there are opportunities for violence to occur, for them to engage in violence, then they will do so, only for them to really now understand the issues, and then they will see that, it was done based on emotions. So I think basically these are the steps that could be taken for now.
Indeed. Mr. Yan, I thank you so much for your time here. Appreciate it. That's Albert Yan, is the National Network Coordinator of the Ghana Office of the West African Network for Peace Building there. We're keeping an eye on what's happening in Kintampo North and also in Nkwanta South. All of these situations there has led to the death of a number of people, 8 in Nkwanta South and 1 person in Kintampo North, and all as a result of some clashes and misunderstanding between two groups in these areas. You're still live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're live on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale, also on W93.5 in Y and Beyond. Now, the United States Embassy in Accra has advised travelers to exercise increased caution due to emerging threats against LGBTQ plus individuals in Ghana. The alert issued on November 20, 2023, updated the USA travel advisory to level 2. The alert highlights concerns about crime and violence directed at members of the LGBTQ plus community in Ghana. The advisory mentioned areas with increased risks, including parts of the northern, northeast, Bono East, Savannah, and Upper East regions, citing civil unrest. Let's pick up the thoughts of one person who's been following this quite closely. Adib Sani is the Executive Director of the Jatikate Center for Human Security. He's a security analyst as well. Mr. Sani, thank you so much for your time here on Hot Edition. Now, let's first understand what the basis and impact of travel advisories really are and how that impacts on the specific country that, for instance, the United States is advising its citizens about.
Okay, so travel advisories are bulletins, so to speak, issued by countries to their citizens living abroad. It is something they do periodically based on prevailing security issues or based on information they have gathered, including intelligence reports. Recently, there was a travel advisory issued by the French government in Ghana, and it wasn't so popular with a lot of Ghanaians because they felt it was overly exaggerated when they spoke about their citizens avoiding the upper regions of Ghana. It's based on a number of indicators, including the possibility of violence, the crime statistics that they have available. Like I indicated, the various intelligence sourced from the difference of their contacts on the ground. They also are they work closely with the security agencies who share information with them. And all of this is what they put together to issue those travel advisories. And why am I not surprised? For the northern part of the country, the fear of terrorism is still there. The possibility that terrorists would infiltrate and possibly engage in attacks in the north is quite high. So it is something that they are paying a close eye on. And you and I also know for a fact that LGBTQ is a doctrine that is abhorred by majority of Ghanaians. The community is very unpopular, and a classical case in point is when they had their billboards springing up and what happened. Similarly, a billboard was put up in Tamale, and it received a lot of backlash. And I think the billboard was banned, and people were not so happy about it. So if you identify yourself as a member of the LGBT community, your safety would not be guaranteed. And we have seen several videos from various parts of the country, including Zongos, where certain persons are subjected to severe beating because they are deemed as members of the LGBTQ community. However, the travel advisory also stated that some of them are subjected to rape. And on that occasion, I'm not too sure where that information came from, because so far as I am concerned, I'm yet to receive that information or know about any such case. So in some cases, travel advisories are overly exaggerated. In other cases, they might appear exaggerated. However, you and I will not be in a position to know what exactly informs that advisory.
I see. Now, for the impact of this advisory, it cuts across a number of sectors, not just going to be about the caution to the citizens, is it not? We're looking at how this would also impact on Ghana in many ways. From your own analysis, what would be the ripple effect of this travel advisory, level 2?
Okay, good. Exactly. Some is level 1, others are level 2, and it's not the highest. Okay, we have much more critical situations, and it is almost impossible for example, the U.S. to not have a travel advisory warning their citizens against going to some places in any part of the world. I'm sure even U.S. citizens living in the UK, they have travel advisories for them to avoid certain areas. Okay, no country is immune from crime. There's no denying that fact. However, it is only important to get your citizens to be worried, to be careful, and to exercise a great deal of situational, personal, and of course, environmental awareness anywhere they find themselves. Not too long ago, I trained workers of a multinational oil firm in the country because there were incidents of attacks against some of those workers who usually close very late at night. But with travel advisories, you know what to do and what not to do. And I think it's not far-fetched. But on our side, sometimes we wait for things to get out of control before we start evacuating our citizens, just as we had in Libya, Sudan, and even in Ukraine. But these people, they mean business. I mean, they would pre-warn you of an impending danger and take drastic steps to get you out before things get out of control. But for us, we wait for things to get out of control before Foreign Affairs Ministry starts issuing statements. And I think that is tantamount to firefighting instead of being proactive. Protecting the citizens is the responsibility of the state, no matter where they are, whether domestically or abroad.
Right. Adib, I thank you. I appreciate your time on this one and getting us to understand the impact of this travel advisory level 2 and then also the response mechanism. Appreciate it. Let me stay on this a bit further because the impact of this travel advisory as well, we're going to see it in the tourism and hospitality industry. We're getting into the month of December where you have a lot of citizens from the United States, African Americans coming into the country, and the Ghana Tourism Authority is on this path of this beyond the return, trying to encourage a lot more people getting into this country within this holiday season. How will this impact on that particular initiative? Dr. Edward Akanyamike, it's the president of the Hoteliers Association of Ghana. He's joining us on the telephone. Dr. Akanyamike, thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition. Seeing this travel ban level 2 must be of concern to you, is it not? And how this could impact on your businesses getting into the festive season.
Good evening, Alfred, and good evening to your listeners. Certainly, to some extent, it is a concern, but I wouldn't begrudge the U.S. Embassy for giving that alert to their citizens, but I'm sure they are working by the book. And when the evidence on the ground indicates that they will act accordingly. However, let me also say that this is probably also an opportunity for our state institutions, especially the security, to also do some marketing of the country itself to ensure those who would want to still come despite this alert of their safety, their security, and everything. So on that level or scale, I wouldn't think that this is really a concern that will disrupt the December NCA activity.
But for you, I mean, what other mechanisms, apart from this proposal to security agencies, what other mechanisms are you going to put in place to ensure that, I mean, this ban is far-reaching? The U.S. citizens take this very seriously. And so, yes, you may have people who still want to come, but beyond that, what should be the thinking for you going forward?
Well, the tourism and hospitality has its own value chain, and we have the tour operators who market the country to foreigners, including the Americans, and then we also have other travel agencies that also do that. We have the GPA, Ghana Tourism Authority, as you mentioned, who are also spearheading the December NGA together with the ministry. So I only mentioned the security agencies earlier on. I singled them out because this is a security issue, and that's why. But otherwise, we have a lot of these agencies and organizations, including the private sector, who continue to market and showcase Ghana as a safe tourism destination. So I believe, and I'm sure that having heard this particular news item, they will certainly up their game and ensure that they also reach out to those with the positive information about Ghana. And then, you see, after the positive aspect of this, which I'm sure some of them will capitalize on, is the fact that let's also not forget that there are some people who are also interested in the positive cultural values that we have here and want to visit us because of those positive cultural values. The promotion of proper human sexual rights bill is trying to achieve. Okay, so it may appear negative, but there's also a positive side of it, and we can use that as a way to also promote visitors into the country. So I'm sure they will all be blasting on their cylinders to ensure that we still get the numbers come December and beyond.
Okay. Dr. Edward Akanyameke, thank you. Thank you so much for your time here on Hot Edition. Dr. Edward Akanyameke is Executive Director of the Hoteliers Association of Ghana. Join us with his thoughts on this. You're also live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. Also on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. The Education Minister, Dr. Yao Seyeduchum, has assured that by the end of next week, the St. Kizito School, which happens to be the only senior high school in the Mepe community, will be reopened to students. Now, the senior high school students in the Mepe community, that's the community heavily hit by this spillage of the excess water from their Consumble and the Pond dams, have lost over 6 weeks of learning as a result of the use of their school facility as a safe haven for the persons who have been displaced by the flood waters. But Education Minister Dr. Yao Seyeduchum says residents will, by end of the week, move to other safe havens for teaching and learning to resume in the St. Kizito Senior High School.
Same cannot be said about St. Kizito. The case of St. Kizito, it was not directly affected by the spillage, except that the school became a safe haven. So the community taking over the school. The assessment we did was that by the end of the week, we may get the community at a better location, a safer place, so back to their homes, and then so we have postponed school reopening for now, what we have taken a look at is now that the water is receiving, look at facilities, look at opportunity for rehabilitation, and where we need to build a new school, we have an opportunity to do so. So, in the meantime, students affected are in different locations in their learning. The goal is to make sure that the students are not left behind anywhere in the areas that have experienced the spillage.
So the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Seyeduchum, there. Now, underweight children dominate issues with children under 2 years at the postnatal unit of the Lekma Polyclinic, with some reporting stunted growth following the 2022 Ghana Demographic Health Survey on children not fully vaccinated. My colleague Sarah Apenkro was at the Lekma Polyclinic and reports of this situation rather on the high.
The 2022 Ghana Demographic Health Survey by the Ghana Statistical Service indicates that 2 in every 5 children under the ages of 2 are not fully vaccinated. Aside that, 689,000 of these children have stunted growth, while some are anemic. This means there is a gap in the health system. We are here at the Lekma Polyclinic to find out from the mothers at postnatal what the issues are. It's 7 a.m. and parents are already at the postnatal unit to get their babies examined and vaccinated. Babies brought in for routine schedules for vaccination have never defaulted.
I want the best health for her, and I know without the vaccination, certain diseases could be a problem for her.
If you don't make time to take your child for weighing, you spend money paying hospital bills.
Juliet learned her lesson the hard way with her first child and is determined to ensure his 7-month-old baby is fully vaccinated.
My first child used to fall sick a lot because I defaulted in a vaccination schedule, so I won't joke with this one.
Despite the consistency by parents in bringing their wards for the required vaccines here, the unit has recorded 37 cases of underweight babies, including 3 stunted growths in the last 3 months. Sefako is one of the mothers with an underweight baby. Her child is a year old but would not eat solid foods.
She's just like 0.01 centimeters away from severely, so she's in the borderline of severe malnutrition.
Alternative I have now is with normal rice like this. When I eat it, he doesn't show much interest, so now I decide to make it in the porridge form, in the liquid form, which will make it much easier for him to take it. Potatoes the same, I blend it to make it the porridge form in order for him to have the balanced diet.
The public health nurse in charge of reproductive and child health at the facility, Tabitha Nanaya Ajari, tells us the situation is being managed with assistance from the nutritionist.
That's a report by my colleague Sarah Penko there. It's live on the Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and W93.5 in and beyond. Hot Edition is probably brought to you by Old Mutual. Find insurance policies that are tailored to your needs. Also benefit from our expertise in offering comprehensive business solutions to help your business grow. Capitalize on our tailor-made solutions that meet and exceed your expectations. Old Mutual, do great things every day. After this quick break, Michael Obodo standing by with the business news. Stay with us.
Hello there, welcome to the business segment here on Hot Edition. My name is Michael Obodu. Coming up, Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee gathers to deliberate on policy rate amid declining inflation. Details coming up shortly. Please stay. Thank you for staying with us. Straight into our top story, as the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has convened its 115th regular meetings today to scrutinize the latest economic developments and consider potential adjustments to the policy rate. Scheduled to run until Friday, November 24, 2023, these meetings will play a crucial role in determining the future trajectory of the country's monetary policy. The following 3 Business News Desk report has the details.
One key factor likely to weigh heavily on the committee's deliberations is the notable decline in inflation. According to recent data, inflation has dropped from a staggering 38.1% to a more manageable 25.2% in October 2023. This significant reduction in inflation figures is anticipated to influence the Bank of Ghana's decision regarding the policy rate, currently set at 30%. The MPC's primary responsibility is to assess economic indicators and make informed decisions to ensure price stability and sustainable economic growth. With inflation trending downward, there is speculation among financial experts that the Bank of Ghana may consider revising the policy rate downwards. This potential adjustment could have far-reaching implications for borrowing costs, investments, and overall economic activity. The meetings will culminate in a press conference on Monday, November 27, 2023, during which the committee will formally announce its decision on the policy rate. Market analysts and stakeholders will keenly await this announcement, as it is expected to provide insights into the Bank of Ghana's strategy to navigate the economic landscape and strike a balance between inflation control and economic expansion amid an ongoing IMF economic program.
That was a 3 Business News Desk report. Now, accounting and auditing firm KPMG has expressed optimism about the economy in 2024. Senior partner at the firm, Anthony Sapon, says the country is on the path to stability following positive trends in macroeconomic indicators, including inflation.
This budget being anchored in the theme of pursuing macroeconomic stability and growth, it's really fundamental for our journey into stabilizing the economy. And you see that from middle of this year, the signals have started showing inflation coming down, September at 38% and of course 35% in October. The exchange rate relatively has stabilized, and this is a signal that the budget should anchor these stabilities. And when the budget does that, then it allows businesses to be able to plan, it allows businesses to be able to forecast with reasonable certainty and plan their growth. And when the economy grows, then of course it creates ample opportunities for each and every one, government, businesses and individuals. So in a nutshell, the situation of this budget anchoring on stability and growth is what we need at this stage for our economic journey.
Anthony Sapon is a senior partner at auditing and accounting firm KPMG. Now, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana has expressed concerns over the success of the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. According to the association, the 2024 budget read by Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta had no budgetary allocation for the program. Bismarck Tete Owusu-Norte is the Peasant Farmer Association's head of programs.
The program is said that the anchor farmer or aggregator is supposed to procure inputs, fertilizer and seeds from the participating companies. The farmers are supposed to enjoy some services, land preparation, clearing of their land and things like that. All these things need infrastructure, right? They need equipment. And then those infrastructure cannot be put in place by the private sector. That should be led by government. So if government doesn't invest in those areas, then a PFJ2, you might not be getting the optimum result that we expected to get. And that's why we expect that there should be monetary allocation to fit or to fix that infrastructure gap we have for PFJ2 to work. So we hope that probably in the main budget statement, we'll see actual allocation to PFJ2 and specific details as to what the money will be used for.
So that was the head of programs for the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Bismarck Tete Owusu-Norte, bringing an end to the business segment here on Hot Edition. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obudu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe. Up next to sports.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Bill Ishen. We're going to start off from the Black Stars because head coach of the side, that is Chris Hughton, believes that the team performed better than Comoros in their defeat to Comoros at the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now, Ghana are currently third in Group I with 3 points, whilst Comoros are on top with 6 points so far on the table. And Ghana will be hoping to get the needed result in the rest of their games for qualification to the FIFA World Cup, which will be played in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. Now, to some other stories, Dreams FC head coach Abdul Karim Zito has stated that Dreams should not be ruled out of the CAF Confederation Cup as he prepares to face his opponents in the group stages of the competition. He said this on GPL Express, set to be aired tonight at 9:30 p.m. on TV3.
Well, I think we can't rule ourselves out. I still have confidence in my boys. They are growing gradually. When you see us playing now, you see a lot of difference, improvement in the play than before. So it's a league, and our objective will be to be able to be with the top or with the top ones. You understand me? At least not to decrease the image of Ghana. That is the main issue now. But when you look at the qualifying series, it was more intensive. Where it's like you play here, you play here. If you don't win, you're out. So this one is like a league where you always have opportunity to make amendments or to improve upon what you've done. So you can see that.
That was Abdul Karim Zito, the head coach of Dreams FC. Now, before I do go in women's football, defender Comfort Yeboah and deputy captain, that is Jennifer Owusu, have been named in the CAF Women's Champions League Best XI. The XI includes players from Mamelodi Sundowns, SC Casablanca, and ES FAR, among others, who managed to sneak into the XI. Now, Pimdakwa finished 4th in the tournament after losing to ES FAR in the 3rd place playoff. That brings an end to the sports segment here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Bill Ishen, and up next is entertainment with Akofa.
You're still tuned in to Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. It's now time for the entertainment news segment powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa. Now, the Akwamu traditional area has set aside land to establish an eco-city and film village along the boundaries of Akwamuman. The Paramount Chief, Odeneho Kwafu Akutu III, revealed the ambitious plan at the inaugural Africa Cinema Summit in Accra, highlighting that specific parcels of land have been earmarked for the project.
Though Africa's film and cinematic legacy dates back to the emigration era, the industry has struggled to reflect an accurate portrayal of its cultures. The collapse of the cinema system on the continent underscores the urgency for change. Against this backdrop, the Maiden African Cinema Summit in Accra delves into the intricacies, challenges and opportunities within the African cinematic space. The call was to harness Africa's rich cultural tapestry, and filmmakers across the continent were urged to unite their resources and collaborate effectively.
Let us seize this moment to foster collaboration, share resources, and unite in our commitment to create a vibrant African film industry.
The Paramount Chief of Akwamu Traditional Area, Odeneho Kwafu Akutu III, embraced the challenge.
Plans are far advanced with the creation of an eco-city within the boundaries of Akwamu. I have earmarked various parcels of land to support the film industry, especially the creation of a film studio.
He invited industry players to step forward with proposals to be integral partners in the realization of the vision.
I hereby encourage all stakeholders in the film industry to invest in this extraordinary part of Ghana. I call on all stakeholders in the film industry to uncover the untapped potential of the film-related businesses, such as local film festivals and cultural exchanges, which can contribute significantly to the socio-economic development of Akwamu, Eastern region, Ghana, and by extension, Africa.
A film village at Akwamuman is ideal since it highlights the remarkable achievement of the people in Ghana's fight against colonial oppression.
And finally, before I go, join us for the 3FM Corporate Connect on Friday, 24th November at the Afrikiko Leisure Center here in Kanda after work. Come mingle with CEOs, top business executives, entrepreneurs, and like-minded people at the most exciting corporate networking event in Accra. There will be fun corporate games, live band action, non-stop jam by seasoned DJs, buffet, and tasty grills and thrills. For more info and reservations, please call 053-220-09273. 3FM Corporate Connect is powered by 3FM and 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio, and supported by TV3 and sponsored by Origin. Come through, let's unwind and network, and that will be all the entertainment news set here on 3FM 92.7's Hot Edition, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa Alfred.
Yes, there's more news on 3news.com. Join me at 10 p.m. on TV3 for Ghana Tonight, and cover your back at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock with Wind Down.
Great stuff. I am Alfred Ocansey. Hot Edition is probably brought to you by Old Mutual. They say do great things every day. Have a great evening.